So now we're gonna just briefly talk about our experience in Miss United States Agriculture, just so that you can get a broader image of what the impact of our program does for our queens. So in 2017, I was state appointed the title of Miss Missouri. I then came to nationals in 2018 and competed for the national title, where I won the 2018 National Miss United States Agriculture. When I was Miss Missouri, I didn't really visit a lot of Missouri commodities, but I did a lot of social media, and I did a lot of just like the state fair, our county fairs, and stuff like that. So my advocacy level was a little bit smaller when I was Miss Missouri. But when I became the national title, I decided that I was going to utilize my title to fit me, to fit my community, to fit our nation as a whole. And really what I wanted to do was I wanted to represent the other queens that I competed against, because I got to hear their stories when they competed. I got to hear about their interests and stuff. So I really wanted to ensure that everybody was represented on the national level. So when I won the National Miss, I toured over 30 different states. I went to 9 state fairs. I got to meet government officials. I met 4 governors, all on accident. They were not planned, but it's amazing.
She may have ran a bee queen over.
It's amazing how when you go somewhere and you have a sash and you have a crown and somebody sees it and it's like, what is that person? And then they see national on there, or they see, you know, if you're Miss Missouri, for example, they're gonna come up to talk to you to ask you what your title is and what you're doing. And that's exactly what happened with the governors. And I got to sit there and talk to them about their state's agriculture and learn more about like what their state agriculture means to them, being governors, state representatives, and officials. We got introduced at the Pennsylvania Farm Show with the state governors and with the state officials. So we've been in parades. I've been to conferences, fairs. I read books out of school. I got to read these honeybee books out of school. And the kids were just so excited to learn about bee practices. And, you know, they're like 3rd and 4th grade, so they think bees are bad. But we learned that bees are good things. I went to schools and we made little hydroponic bottles, and they got to keep them, and their fish are growing and their plants are growing. So they really got to learn more about the agricultural industry. And then the other thing I did while I was a queen was I got to engage with my sister queens, and I came to the Pennsylvania Farm Show, and I got to see what Pennsylvania agriculture was about. I got to go to the Iowa State Fair with the Iowa State Fair Queen to see what the Iowa State Fair has to offer to us. And honestly, my experience was what I made of it. So I decided that I wanted to travel. I decided that I wanted to get out there and learn more about different states and their agriculture. And I decided that I wanted to get out there and be a face for the agricultural industry and the women in agriculture. And that's exactly what I did. I made it my reign, and I made it me, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, so my experience was a little bit different. So like Holly said, though, it is what you make of it. And honestly, so I started out as a county queen. I competed at state pageant, one state pageant, which then got me to nationals, which is where, of course, I met her and this whole experience really started. So with that being said, I mean, I did the parades, I did some social media posts, I did promotional events such as Farm Show. I got asked to do tours with certain companies because they wanted you there, or if they were holding open houses, they wanted you there as a face. So I even traveled to like Maryland and did stuff with Transova, you know, all these great things. I mean, because you get asked, can I book you? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
So it's the honest conversations that you're ever gonna have with people. But you also meet a lot of good people. Now, Holly got to travel to a lot of states, a lot of state fairs. So I was the oldest of our group. I'm a full-time teacher, and I'm an ag teacher at best. So we all know FFA consumes a lot of your time. So I spend a lot of time with my kids. So once school year starts, traveling for me really wasn't an option. And as a teacher, you're only with them 180 days of the year. You know, to take time off, all you're doing is hurting your kids. So you really don't want to be taking off time to go visit a fair or go do this, when what I'm doing, once again, is putting passion for the industry. So as far as that goes, our experiences were really different, but it was one of the best things I have ever done. And I honestly signed up from a Facebook post and was like, we'll see what this is all about. And now it's like my second full-time job. You know, promoting it to others and being part of the program and making it the best that it can be. So yeah, we all had different experiences, and just because certain experiences are like some of our queens, their experience with agriculture is planting plants. But guess what? They can advocate for that and make that the best that they can do. But then they're also doing farm tours and learning more about agriculture to what they're not used to. And that was the biggest thing that I did too, was I did a lot of tours with farms and like commodities and things like that I was not familiar with. So even though I'm an ag teacher, there's a lot I don't know.
Right, and you learned a lot throughout your entire
and I can
reign.
take all those experiences back to my classroom at best and be able to better serve my students, my community, and the state in general.